for me, one thing that got me into food was just people's relationship with it. You know, I love that idea of just that story behind it. You know, the old sit down at the coffee table, you know, with dad or mom, or, you know, mom's, you know, cooking something and you know, coming in like a classic commercial, you're running in from outside and you're playing, you know, and it's just, you know, those moments are so nostalgic, and there's just not a person on earth that like doesn't understand what you're talking about. And for me, that was always kind of like the thing that just like clicked for me. I was like, it's people and food. Like people's relationship to food is so important. And so I always thought that there was just stories there. Like I like little stories. And I was like, that was the thing where I realized it's like, man, like that's such a relatable story. But also there's a lot of beauty in it, you know? And like how many movies, they'll have a whole scene going on, but it's people sitting at a dinner table, you know, they were like Moonstruck or something like that, you know, like you always go in and, you know, they're at the dinner table, or like, you know, Seinfeld, you know, it's like the kitchen and the living room's right there every episode, you know, it's like, it's always there. You know?
No, I feel like food is a unique thing where it touches all your senses too. And you don't need to be in front of it to touch all the senses either. Just seeing the visuals that we make of it could like make somebody remember a smell and a sound and a time and a place. And, you know, and I think that's a really interesting thing about it. Is like, it's almost too easy for us, like sometimes to resonate with people, because you're just like, oh, if I shot this one thing beautifully, like suddenly their mind goes, you know, could either, whether they're aware of it or not, like suddenly take them back to something, you know, like with their family or their family members or their, you know, somebody they dated or whatever, you know, you never know, whatever it is.
Or they just want it. Like New York pizza touches me a little too often. I'll just be walking home and I'll smell it, you know, and I'm just like, I really shouldn't do this right now, but I'm going to stop here and have a slice of pizza, you know? And so it's just the best thing in the world when it hits, but it's just like, I won't even know what shop it is. I'll smell it and I'll be like, oh yeah, like pizza. That's kind of like what we do too, you know? It's just, it's a reminder of, you know, to the world, because other people, you know, they're working, you know, jobs, you know, just out in the world. And then, you know, just seeing it in a beautiful light just makes you go, oh, I remember that. So like whether they do it right in that moment or they do it later, it's like, that's what a commercial is, you know? And it's also commerce, you know? It was one thing, like I realized at one point I was like, people say, oh, commercials, you know? But I realized like, how the hell do you sell stuff to people if you don't remind them that the stuff is out there?
Charles Nordeen podcast.
Let's just talk about it.
Heat it up, let's make it hot with my crew. That's all I got. People love us more than haters, tryna roll up on the lot. And when we fly through the air, I feel like I can't miss a shot. Pull up, got them cravings. Together we gon' make it. Looking for a side of flavor, riding through with all my skaters.